Hey, this is Dani, and I have a challenge that I'm working on, and I am doing my praying, doing my meditating, doing my asking, and I am also doing my journaling. And as I was journaling, I was like, I can't write fast enough. I want to talk this out. So if I talk it out with you, then maybe it will bring me more clarity. And if it brings me more clarity, it might be beneficial for someone else to listen, not because you have the same issue. Maybe you do have the same issue. It's very pervasive, but not even because you have the same issue, but because you can see in yourself that this is a question really of any time we're facing any challenge that calls us to be more. And anytime we are on a path to grow and to know the truth of who we are and to understand it and to live that way, instead of living the way we've been conditioned to live, living the way that the mind wants us to live. Do we know that the mind wants us to do the same thing tomorrow that we did yesterday, to do the same thing today that we did yesterday? The mind wants us to make the same decisions in the same way because that's the way the mind is comfortable, and that's the way the mind gains efficiency, because there are so many decisions and things the mind has to do constantly, right? So the mind wants to minimize the number of decisions it has to make every day. So in order to do that, it wants us to make the same decisions so it can be comfortable and say, that part is on autopilot. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Now I need to deal with this new threat or this new thing that's happening or whatever. That's the way the mind works. And we know this. So anytime you're trying to grow and anytime you're trying to do anything differently, then the mind comes in and says, wait a minute. No. We had this figured out. It was working fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Move on. The brain wants us to do that. And it's natural, and we can understand that. It's for evolution, and it's for survival. Because there could be something big that the brain really needs to concentrate on, and it can't be busy doing all these things that you've already learned and relearning them and stuff. So as I'm talking to myself through this is already helping with the idea of stuckness, because I know my brain just wants to do the same thing and carry on doing the same thing. Well, that's not working for me anymore. Doing the same thing right now is not working for me. It's creating feelings of stuckness. So I know that I want to change something. I'm not necessarily labeling stuckness as bad. I think that stuckness has a purpose. I think that one of the shortcomings of self-help and self-development and even spiritual awakening and these paths is an underlying or an overt message of, you need to, if you're not happy all the time, it's your own fault. Focus on the good stuff, blah, blah, blah. And there's an underlying thing of like feeling the bad. You shouldn't allow yourself to feel the bad, or the bad shouldn't be there, or there's all these subliminal messages. But I don't want to minimize the pain that I feel now, even in this situation, even with all the privilege that I have in the situation that I'm in right now. I still have pain, and it's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to feel that. And so the first thing about stuckness is then, coming back to my original, is that it's okay to feel stuck, that literally everything we feel is okay to feel. Where we want to draw the line and look at it is, okay, I'm feeling stuckness. So what I want to do is, honestly, and this is something I started when I was a life coach. This was part of life coach training. So let's just do it together. So when you have that thing that you're feeling that you'd rather not, or that you feel might be inhibiting you, we're going to allow it and feel it anyway. So we're just going to allow it and feel it anyway. Now, feelings don't live in the mind. Feelings live in the body. Emotions live in the body. So the first thing I'm going to do is locate the stuckness in my body and identify how it feels. And I can literally feel, is it my heart chakra? I can feel a heaviness and a heaviness and a pulling kind of in my heart chakra, and then in the upper part of my throat, and then the back of my throat and through my spine a little bit. Like pulling, tension, heaviness. So that's where stuckness is kind of living in my body right now. And in my head. And in my head. Because stuckness is kind of is a state of mind, right? So I'm overthinking and gotten myself into a place of stuckness. That's partially what it is. But I'm just allowing it. I'm not saying stuckness, go away. I need to get rid of the stuckness. I need to get rid of this negativity. I'm just allowing it, and I'm just feeling it right now in the body. And so at this point, typically what happens for us is our brain takes off and we say, well, I'm stuck. Well, there's something wrong here. It's not okay to feel stuck. I need to be moving forward. I need to be figuring out a way to make money. There's tons of things I need to do. I'm in a gorgeous place right now, boondocking for free at the side of this gorgeous glacial lake. And I'm feeling stuckness instead of feeling, overwhelmed with gratitude and joy and all the things that you would think you would be feeling when you're here, right? Which I do have those moments of it, but I also have this kind of like a little cloud that's just kind of in the scene all the time, right? So not that there's anything wrong with feeling stuck, so just going in and feeling it, being willing to feel it. Inviting, honestly, kind of the stuckness feeling. So what we normally do is we go into the mind. So we feel something. We're like, oh, I feel stuck. I feel kind of frustrated. I feel kind of irritated. I'm not quite sure why or what to do about it, because everywhere I turn, I get the same irritation and stuff. So that's my situation. So the first thing is to feel it and then to go into the mind, but the mind usually will just perpetuate it. Like, oh, I'm stuck and I shouldn't be stuck, and look at what a gorgeous place I'm in, and look at all the privilege I have, and how dare I feel something negative or whatever. Look at all the people who would kill to be where I am. And I'm just taking that privilege and I'm just throwing it away like judgments, right? So all of that is a little part of the conversation. Not a lot of it, and I'm not even consciously thinking those things a lot, but as I'm saying them here, I realize they're true. Just little pieces of them are true. And so the first thing is not to let the mind take off with everything, but to go into the body. This is so big. This is one of the big things that I did in life coaching and with myself that really, really helps. So I hope this helps someone. So you're feeling that feeling of whatever you're feeling. Your feeling could be irritation or frustration or anger or grief or whatever that feeling is. And you can label it if you want to, but so right now in my mind, I'm just kind of asking my body, where's the stuckness? And kind of show me the stuckness. And I'm just allowing it. I'm not making it wrong. I'm just like, okay, I'm perfectly open for that stuckness, for that irritation, frustration, for those things to come up. And I want to know where they are. And I'm getting a sensation like in the middle of my back, like behind my heart chakra, like out the back of like pain, kind of right back there. Like this is kind of big. This is kind of heavy for me, because nobody likes to feel frustrated and irritated when they want to feel joy, and stuck, like they don't know what to do, and maybe a little bit of hopelessness in there. Oh, just as I said that, I was like, my body was like, yep, hopelessness. Hopelessness is there. Just a little bit. I'm so overwhelmingly optimistic that hopelessness is not very big in me, but it was there. I could tell, because when I said it, it was like, it perked up like it identified. But here's the thing, our body has a ton of wisdom that our mind does not. Our body knows all kinds of things. There was this study done, and I forget which book it was in, if it was Joe Dispenza or if it was part of life coach training or whatever, where, okay, there were these 2 decks of cards that were intermingled. No, they weren't intermingled. There were these 2 decks of cards that these dealers were using to deal, and the players were playing 21. It was part of an experiment. and the cards from, like, let's say red and blue, like cards from the red deck were better cards, and the cards from the blue deck were crappy cards. And it was just slight differences. And before their minds picked up on the fact that, oh, we're dealing from the good deck, or oh, we're dealing from the bad deck, they would deal cards from the bad deck, and the players, their palms would start to sweat, their heart would elevate a little bit. So in the players' cognitive minds, they hadn't figured out red deck, blue deck changes, but their bodies already knew. Their bodies already knew. There is wisdom in your body that your mind hasn't caught up with yet. There's wisdom in the body. So as I'm talking to my body and everything, this is like a process that just takes time. When we talk to the body, it's your body. Talk to it, ask it what it needs. Talk to it, ask it, what's this tightness about? And allow it to just be felt, not like there's something wrong here. So anyway, this might sound weird to somebody who's cut off from the body or whatever, but I can feel that stuckness and a little bit of hopelessness and some frustration and some irritation, a tiny bit of betrayal, a tiny bit of betrayal in there too. It's like, yeah, but it was gone as soon as I said it. So what I was talking about in the beginning, the feeling in the front part of the chest, the throat, a little bit in the head and back, all that is gone. I just feel the head was the first to disappear. As soon as I said the head and tapped those 2 things, that part went away. The throat is still just a tiny bit, and then I have most of it is in the back behind my heart, like on the other side of the heart chakra. So I'm just going to sit here for a couple minutes and just kind of I'm just putting my attention where that is, right? Where that heaviness is, where that little bit of pain is. And it's dissipating. It's dissipating. Because that's another thing about emotion or feelings in the body and anywhere. They're always in motion. So it doesn't like stay there forever or anything. It usually only takes a couple of minutes. And it's still dissipating, and there's still something there. It's moved over just a little, and it's like it's letting me know it's still there. I'm like, that's fine. I can sit here for a few minutes, and I don't need to do that on camera. Let me just sit here for a few minutes. Okay, I am already feeling a ton better. I don't have clarity about my next step. One of the things with stuckness was I was like, every time I would contemplate, do I go here? Do I go here on my own? Do I go here with friends? Do I do this? Do I do this? Every option that I was looking at wasn't feeling like freedom or like fun. It was just feeling like kind of blah. So that was my stuckness, was how it was manifesting. It's not like I immediately have clarity on what I want to do, but the stuckness feeling in my body, at least for now, has mostly dissipated. And I'm going to do a part 2 to this. Might want to just wait a bit and then come back to it. Give it time to process and everything, and then come back to it. But I'll let you know. So let's consider this part 1, and then I'll do a part 2, and we'll have that next time. So thanks tons for being here. And if you're here at the end, let me know. And extra special thanks to my patrons. I love each and every one of you. And hey, thanks for being here. We'll catch you next time. If this helped you at all, put a comment and let me know. If you know someone that might need to hear this or see this, then please forward it to them and let them know. And let's just kind of uplift and support each other. What a beautiful thing. So that's it. Love you. Talk to you next time.